and minus 6 or 7 on the other side of the damper. So very, very quickly, it goes asymmetrically compressed. Very quickly. And when it gets bad enough, it'll throw off sibilance and mistracking. But before it even gets there, it will just cause a diminution of the sound. It's a little less realistic. It's a little less vitality. It sounds less relaxed. The soundstage shrinks a little bit. And many of us live with this situation and don't even know it. And we're happy with our sound. This is why the Wally skaters are our most important tool that we make, for sure. So if sibilance and mistracking is really almost always a function of tone arm mismanagement, but yet the cartridge manufacturers tend to get the blame, because what usually happens is, okay, well, I had this cartridge on this tone arm forever, and now I upgraded to this next next cartridge, a better cartridge, and I'm getting sibilance and mistracking. Therefore, the cartridge has a problem. It's not a good tracker. No, that's the wrong. It doesn't fully compute, because you had a sedan and now you're driving a race car, right? So very different situation in the compliant material, whether the cartridge even broke in, that flexure material hasn't even broken in. So that tighter suspension is going to be much less forgiving to this torque force. So the cartridge manufacturers often get this blame, and what can they do about it? They can raise the cantilever angle. And as they raise the cantilever angle, they're employing a downward vector force that is offered to the cartridge by the effective mass of the arm to help maintain constant contact with the screen, the stylus, and the groove. It makes for a better tracker, but it doesn't make for better sound. So just randomly, if you were to put in a 3-degree shim, it'll sound better. Random. All of you. Now, we got to make sure it's a rigid shim. I had one guy come to me recently, just today. He said, "Yeah, well, I heard you say that, so my brother, or friend, he 3D printed a shim for me. So soft material, right? Relatively soft. And he put it in and said, sounds better." I said, "Yeah, well, wait until you hear that when it's a rigid material. It'll even be a lot better." So maybe a little diversion from the original topic, but this is a big one. In the industry, there's been a major, twice now, publicly, the main guy at one of the largest cartridge companies has agreed with me on this publicly. You can go see it. It's on the website. He agrees that there is until we get our house under control, and start controlling these forces, the cartridge building industry is going to be less than enthusiastic about dropping that. I know one Japanese manufacturer of these cartridges has already been asked by at least one cartridge company to lower it, and the answer was no. No, they aren't going to change that. So I think, yeah, before I go to questions, I want to talk about mats. Okay, turntable mats. Now, again, remembering that most important location in the turntable, here's an experiment for you. If anybody can get in front of a vacuum hold down turntable, I want you to put a musical record on that vacuum hold down table. Don't engage the vacuum, and make sure your system is muted and the room is quiet, and put the stylus on the record, and I want you to listen, and you will hear the music. Probably most of you have heard this before, where the system's muted, the stylus is playing a record, and you can hear music from the record area. Well, that's the record acting like a speaker. It's vibrating rather violently, and it's been excited by the frictional force in the groove, and it is now vibrating. Now, do you suppose that is good for fidelity? Probably not, because that energy isn't going only necessarily in one direction, away from the motor or away from the stylus. It will bounce back. There are boundary conditions. It'll bounce back, and it will modulate at a very low level and become part of your noise floor. So if you got a vacuum hold down, then engage the vacuum hold down and listen and expect to hear that that the volume that you hear go way down. Quiet. So that's my favorite feature of a vacuum hold down.